"10 years of drawing, you know, did I learn anything? Have I discovered the magic potion for improving myself?" Let's get into it, right? So to start with the first one, practicing with intention. What do I mean by that? In the very beginning, I was really just practicing with just drawing everything, you know, perspective, anatomy, landscapes, figures, portraits, you name it. And the thing is, that was good in the beginning, where you're more of a generalist practitioner, where you try to, you know, like learn what it means to draw, to sketch, to understand the fundamentals, right? However, at some point I burned myself out because I had no purpose of why I'm trying to learn to draw. And this is the issue I noticed as time continued to progress. And that led me to burning myself out twice, you know, both of them, which was 3 months. So in total, I stopped drawing for 6 months, if we count it like from all the time I burned myself out. And that means for me, something was just not working, you know, and that was because I was not really practicing retention. Like, sure, I was been interested into all these dynamic figures because that's like where it all started, when I saw works from like Steve Huston, Glen Vilppu, you know, Anthony Jones, Vlad Gheneli, and Michael D Matesi, and many more different artists that just inspired me to start drawing, to start creating. And it just, I don't know, I got interested into that. But at some point, if you don't have a compass, you kind of lose track of where exactly you're going, you know? So yeah, a much better approach I feel that works best now for me is to be like, to have like a project, you know, like a project-based practitioner or project-based practice. Like if you're gonna draw, let's say, a portrait, like you're really into like portrait of people, you won't be drawing dogs or cats, you know, like you're specifically then be practicing about how to draw the head, what's the proportion, so on and so forth. So yeah, practicing with intention. Number 2, taking care of yourself, you know. It's important for us to take care of ourselves if we want to continue to do this for a long period of time, right? I remember in the very beginning, I was practicing for at least 8 to 12 hours a day. And that means I was not really resting. Luckily, I didn't have any carpal tunnel or all these other things you hear from artists that have been drawing for so long, where they lose, you know, touch with like their hands and so on and so forth, and injure their hands, for example. So it's important for us to take a step back, get outside, breathe some fresh air, you know, touch some grasses, see the birds for what they are, if that's possible, you know, like really being in nature, or just overall just taking a break from sitting every day, you know, like go do some exercise, go run, do yoga, do some praying or meditation, whatever thing that allows you to take a break in a positive way. It gives you the momentum to continue this creative pursuit for a long period of time. So having a rest, having proper care of your, as well, having a proper care of your tools as well gives you the opportunity to create well, like a proper chair, a proper desk, you know, even if just sitting on the floor, like maybe having something that will like really make you feel comfortable, your environment, and so on and so forth. Number 3, passion projects is a must. Passion projects is the bread and butter from my experience now that keeps you going, keeps you growing, and keeps you motivated to create, you know. It gives you the opportunity to express yourself, especially if you do client work on a daily basis, right? You need some form of creative outlet that touches the inner child within you, you know. Otherwise, you sort of lose yourself in the world, unless like you really love commercial work. But most of the time, when passion becomes work, the passion, like the love you had for the passion, you lose the love you had for the passion, because now you're earning for it and you're doing it for someone else, and you're no longer doing it for yourself. So it's important to continue those little, side projects that keeps you connected to your creative spirit, your creative soul. A book that touches more about this is The Art of Fear, which is what I've read, or is what I read quite often throughout the years. Like once a year, I always come back to it, and it gives you new glimpses of things even though I highlighted them, but it gives you a reminder of certain things. This is a book by Asa Cleone. It's called Is Still Like an Artist. And from this book, I realized that the way he speaks about creativity, or the way he speaks about learning or practicing, is essentially what I've been applying automatically after as well, learning from other people. The general premises of the book is focused on how you, as a creative, steal different nuggets and pieces of ideas and skills and such from different creatives, and then apply it to your own artistic practice. And this you call like a good theft, because you're learning from different people and you're crediting, hopefully, what you're learning from these people, and then create your own artistic language to eventually becomes your style that others will notice. Versus bad theft is you're just copying from one person, and thus you're becoming more of a copycat, kind of like a replica of that person. And the problem of that is you're never gonna be building your own artistic language by doing that, as you are just imitating what the person is already doing. And I don't think you want that, like as a creative, we want to eventually be able to have our own language, so people can say, oh, that's such and such person's type of style, or that's person's work, and so on and so forth. So number 5, keep a sketchbook. The smaller, the better. Having a sketchbook gives you opportunity to just go around and sketch, and you always have the portability of it because it's small. It can fit in your pocket, so you can easily sit anywhere and everywhere to just sketch around. Usually I do this in the train or in a coffee shop. Not coffee shop, because here in Netherlands coffee shop is a different word, but cafe, let's just say that. And it's straightforward. And I do a lot of thumbnailing because of this, and I take notes, and so try it out, give it a shot, and see where it leads you to, because it gives you the opportunity to just get what's outside of your mind onto a paper, especially if you tend to use your time to just scroll on Instagram, during the train ride, then switch it up with a small sketchbook or a small notebook and see how that will lower your phone usage, to a bare minimum. Number 6, explore, and explore. While in the very beginning I was doing more generalist approach of learning, it gave me this mindset of actually exploring different avenues on a much consistent basis. Like, this is the reason why it's difficult for me to say that I'm a designer, because I've dabbled into illustration, I dabble into design, graphic design, logo design, branding, icon, web design, and now painting on canvas, for example, let's say also 3D. But I feel I'm always trying to explore, to understand, and then somehow all of this knowledge will come back into what I do on a daily basis, right? And so I try not to limit myself now to just saying that I'm a designer and I'm an illustrator. I'm still figuring out how to title it. Like some people go with like multidisciplinary artist or multidisciplinary designer, or you're a creative person. That's kind of weird as well to say like I'm a creative person. But yeah, it's just hard to just pinpoint one singular thing that what I am. But I think it's important to still explore, so that way you find out what exactly is something you like, what exactly is interesting, or why you find that interesting, or why you want to learn that. And yeah, number 7, connect with other creators. This is something that was difficult for me in the very beginning because I was living in Curacao, and the only way I had access to creative communities was like through online means, like forums, especially like conceptart.org, Crimson Daggers, and the Cycra forum, QBrush forum, and so on and so forth. And nowadays, like Discord, right? Like from streamers Discord as well. Now that I live in Netherlands, I feel much more at home because I'm able to really like connect with other people, do events that happens here, like the creative events that happens in Netherlands is quite often, or there's like different communities for different people, so it's easy for you to find your own group here in Netherlands, I would say. But also I found people that I can really bond with, and yeah, so finding creators that you can talk with gives you the opportunity to also talk about the craft, or even collaborate. I know one specific artist or designer or illustrator or multi-creative person that I follow to this day that does that is Thorp. He's always collaborating with some of his friends, and I remember he spoke about this on one of the podcasts I heard recently from Learn Squared. Is essentially collaboration gives you the opportunity to merge different pursuits together, different skill sets, right? And if you're doing it alone, because for me, I love doing things alone, but you realize that it will take a lot more time to realize a project, or to make this to fruition. I'm butchering. To make this project come alive, all right? Especially if it is animation, films, and so on and so forth. Like any big projects, is good for you to collaborate with other people, and not only you are able to understand another person, but you also can have like this feedback dialogue between one another as you are both on this passion projects together. And in the end, you have also a portfolio work in which you could show to other people if they are interested into making like actual commission work with you. So it's a win-win situation. It's not like, okay, it feels like I'm speaking more of a transactional relationship here, but no, I feel it's more of a win-win situation because you're able to express yourself in something that you are passionate about, and perhaps someone from the outside world sees that and says, hey, I want to do a project with you guys, because I saw this passion project you both did, and so on and so forth. So collaboration is key towards realizing a much bigger idea into life. And like, sure, I'm doing canvas painting now, but I'm sure probably in the future I will do something bigger. Maybe there's a game, maybe there's a film, and so on and so forth. You never know. Number 8, be willing to pivot. As you hear from my whole, key points, I think it has been more of a like ups and downs, like filling, trying, repeat, filling, try, repeat. I've tried doing web design. I've tried doing, graphic design, more like branding the icon, or even worked as a desktop publishing designer or something like that, Curacao. And like that was like more non-creative side, like, oh, let's just edit some work and then send it to print. It's not really design, I tried 3D. I'm pretty sure I will get back 3D, but I'm always pivoting, exploring, right? But pivoting, I mean, in a sense of pivoting to a direction that makes more sense for me to survive from. and that I'm able to also have fun with, you know. While I pivot a lot, I also notice that certain things sticks. Like right now, what has been really fun for me to do is like playing with the idea of abstract geometric shapes and using it in a graphic, expressive, designerly way to show it to the world, right? And that's what I found from trying multitude of mediums, but somehow this is like what really gravitates my attention. And because of that, I'm trying to now, you know, like see how I can apply it to certain fields. Like now for me, that's like really more illustrative and design direction, like using geometric and abstraction to realize perhaps a real world project or my own personal project. So pivoting from what you originally wanted to learn or wanted to be is always okay to do so, because we are not robots, we are humans, you know. Like, we don't want to be doing, or some of us don't want to be doing the same thing for 10 years or 5 years, which is why you do career switch. And same for projects, be willing to kill your darlings, because maybe that project was the starting point for the next one, you know. So yeah, these are the things I've learned throughout the years so far, from learning to draw for almost a decade long, you know. And yeah, it has been a wild ride, you know, and I still can't wait to see like how I continue to evolve and learn and meet new people throughout the next years to come, hopefully. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I shall see you guys next time. Bye bye.